We're calling what happened here today an act of political protest. The scene still here active this afternoon. They say a person arrived here outside this building that houses the Israeli Consulate around 12:17 and attempted to light themselves on fire. The police tell us that a security guard working here saw what was going on, ran over to this person and tried to stop it and help them. They say that then the security guard was also affected by this fire and sustained burns. They say the original person that lit the fire has 100-degree burns and was transported to Grady Hospital. That person is in critical condition tonight. They have not released that person's name or identity, but police did tell us that a Palestinian flag was recovered here at the scene, as well as a tank of gasoline or some sort of gasoline that was used as an accelerant. Again, this is where the Israeli consulate is housed. Police tell us everybody there is safe. There's been no disruption to their office today, and there's no current threat to anyone there inside the building. Again, we're working to learn more details. Police tell us, though, that they believe this was not an act of terrorism, but an extreme political protest. So we'll continue to bring you updates here as we learn more about the person involved. We know that, again, that security officer was also burned, but we do not know the extent of their condition tonight. Reporting live in Midtown, Chelsea Beim for Atlanta News First.
Chelsea, thank you. And first at 4.